Hello. This is about the GTS4 by Amazfit. It's because I like this watch. I got this watch and I like this watch. I've had multiple watches before. My wife has an Apple Watch. She loves it a whole bunch, except for the fact that it dies every night. She has to go ahead and charge it before she goes to bed. It's down to 20%. She can't leave it on all the time. It does amazing things, but how amazing is it when it's dead? This thing has 8 days of battery life. It doesn't have 8 days of battery life right off the bat, and you've got to work for it. But I turned down the O2 monitoring on it to every 5 minutes. It's at every 5 minutes, and I'm about 8 days. I can go ahead and have it run. I charge it about every 3 days or so, and I run it up to like 80 or 90%. Does it a few minutes, charges up, and I never let it get too terribly low, maybe 30%. Anyway, battery life is not an issue with this thing. The display is absolutely wonderful. The display I can leave on auto, and it's plenty bright enough. And yet, if I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or something, I can see what time it is, and it doesn't blind me by leaving it on the auto. It's freaking awesome. The O2, I like the O2 sensor. This is the fourth smartwatch that I've had. Plus my wife, like I said, has the Apple Watch. And I really like the O2 sensing just because, everybody's got a wife that says you snore, and then they say that you're going to have sleep apnea and strokes and heart attacks. I'm like, oh my God, don't want to do any of that stuff. Kind of like to live for a long time. I can tell you that my O2 never gets below 92%. Generally, it's 98, 99. I can see what it is all night long. And the battery life lasts that long. Another thing that I really like about this particular watch is apps import notification to a standard notification on the watch. So if I have a third-party app, like I have a Lightning app, lets me know when Lightning is within 20 miles. It's important with what I do. I'm a captain. I'm out on tour boats doing things, and I want to know if there's lightning around. It does chirp, 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 like a cricket. I call it cricket. You can't change it, but that's a standard notification. I love that notification, but you can't change it. And the tactile notification is awesome too. There's like 8 different settings on it. I have them all set to the same. It's got extra adjustments on everything, but it buzzes hard enough where I can be outside where it's super bright and not see my phone maybe light up. I can be in a loud environment. I won't hear my phone make a noise, but I'll feel this thing. I'll see this thing. It's a definite positive why I'm enthusiastic about this watch. Let's see. You can use this Bluetooth link to your phone. I don't do that. It does it quite well. When I'm in vehicles, most of the cars I have will have a car app, so that it automatically, when I step into it, my phone will automatically hook up to it. So it confuses it, it's redundant, but the sound quality and how well it works for being able to talk, voices are super clear. They can hear me fine. They don't know I'm talking on my watch. It's just something that I don't use, okay? I love my sleep score. It drives my wife crazy because I go ahead and look and say, ooh, I got 91. She doesn't like that. I got 65. It glitched. All these watches will glitch. There's a big difference on my band if I have it on the 3rd hole versus 4th hole. You've got to have these things hooked up correctly for it to give you a good... It might give you a better response. It still doesn't work. You got to go ahead and dismiss the very low things. You might have a really high number, and that's probably truthful, but it might give you an abnormally low one. It might say you went to bed at 2:30 in the morning when you actually went to bed at 11. All the watches that I've had, the 4 watches, I'll get into that in a minute, all of them go ahead and have a little bit of a malfunction with that stuff. Let's see. It's so easy for me to set my alarm to wake up in the morning. It doesn't do anything until it's time. It'll tell you, hey, it's about time for you to go to bed. I kind of get a kick out of it. 10 o'clock, go to bed. And then it goes ahead and chirps, and it wakes you up real nice and easy at your predetermined alarm time, and doze. 10 minutes later, it'll do it, and then I can turn it off. Depends. Most of the time, I usually get up, but anyway. Auto ons, offs, and sleeps. It's easy to adjust the alarm clock. It's easy for waterproof. It's good for a bunch of atmospheres. It's good for a lot deeper than I'll ever get. 50, 150 feet, whatever. I can get in the pool. I can stick my arm into the water and not have any concern about it. Okay, now I will get into the things that it doesn't do quite so well. This is a Vermi. This is my old watch. It'll probably turn on still. Let's see if it turns on still. Yes, still turns on. I really like this watch. Now, what didn't I like about this watch? Why did I not get another one of those? It's not as bright. It's a lot thicker. It doesn't quite have the functionality, and obviously it wasn't capable of staying waterproof. I don't even know what happened. Did I get a little bit of a chemical, a bleach or gasoline, carb cleaner? I don't know. I work on stuff. I've worked with this, had this watch for over a month now. This isn't a review where I just unboxed it and told you my experience after 4 days is that this is really awesome. I hate those reviews. Do you hate those reviews? I hate those reviews. This watch worked all right. When I went to replace it, I went and got a GTS2. I returned the GTS2. I think a lot of it's the software. They talk about this GTS4 having a better software package on it. Well, I can tell you it can do a lot of things the old one didn't. Being able to have the notifications, it's a big deal with me. I want to know when the lightning's hitting. I want to know when my camera is detecting video or detecting motion in front of the house. I want to know when I want the thing to vibrate. I want it to work for me. This watch did very well, where the GTS2 didn't. And it's like, God, I like it. It's thinner, the display is better, but it just didn't do what I wanted to do. I sent it back. Then I got another watch to try. About the same price point. I looked at it. It was a Amazfit, similar name, Amazfit, and it was a toy. I didn't have that thing for a day before I sent that thing back. I got another Vermi. This is the second Vermi I had. The first one I had, the charger wasn't working right. It wouldn't charge. And then it face planted. It fell off the counter the wrong way and shattered the glass. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, that's why I got the GTS2. And then it stunk. And then I got this watch again. It's like, okay, I'll go with what I know, what works. And it's got the O2 sensor, the pulse sensor. It did a lot of the same stuff. It was a nice price point too. But it's thick, and it's not loud, and the GTS2 didn't vibrate very well at all. I just didn't like that watch. So I had this one, it fell apart, and it's like, okay, I'll try the GTS4. And there's a lot of different brands, and the Amazfit is terrible. I'm just telling you, what's the difference? Round face, square face, GTS2, is it 3, is it 4, is it 4 mini? You can look up all that stuff, but basically what it comes down to is the software on the GTS4. The Mini doesn't have a phone, and there's some other things on it, but I just like the GTS4 a whole bunch. It has features that you may or may not use. If you want to do 40 different sports and find out how well it works with you, it does all that kind of stuff. But for me, what I could see is I could go ahead and get a QR code on this. If I went to the gym, I can scan the QR code. I don't have to carry my phone into a gym. And then if I want to listen to some music, I can put one earbud in. I can listen to music. It took me 10 minutes or so. I've got like 95 songs. I've got hours worth of songs in no time downloaded into the watch. I thought it was a stupid little feature, but I could see using that going off to the gym. I thought that was pretty cool. So having the QR code and doing the music was something that was worthwhile. Okay, and let's see, finally, linking this to my phone was fiddly. Yes, fiddly. That's what I have written down here, fiddly. It took me probably an hour to get it hooked up to my phone properly. I'm pretty technically savvy. I can hook up things. I usually don't have a problem. But I linked it up GTS4 and then it had GTS4 with another number and I'm going back and forth. Eventually it worked. That's a chirp. That was my video camera alarm. That's what it sounds like. It was a little fiddly. I didn't have a problem. I kept at it and it just kept working. My phone is a Motorola. It's not a Samsung. It's not Apple. It's a minor brand with phone stuff. And it's still hooked up. I didn't have to go into any user manual or web, they call them the group things to try to ask stuff. I didn't have to go to help. I didn't have to go ahead and go to the company. I got it working. It took me about an hour. Let's say confusing what you're choosing. Oh, it's got one part of the app where you can choose to have the phone portion, so you can answer Bluetooth your phone to your watch and you can talk to it. And when you go ahead and choose, will it allow you to answer and talk on this as a Bluetooth extension of your phone? Or do you want it to just go ahead and display the phone number and let you know, and then you answer with your phone afterwards, or have it not do any of that crap? Okay, that was confusing. I have it so it will display who the caller is. It does all that other information. That works right for me, but the thing you pick is what it does. It doesn't disregard or not do that. It does it. Doesn't describe it very well in the functionality of it. So let's see. VeerMe, GTS2, GTS4, and the final one was the Amazfit. The Amazfit. That was such a joke. Okay. GTS4. If you get it, it does a lot of stuff. I'm not dismissing the Apple phone or the Apple Watch. Apple Watch is really cool. But if you don't have an Apple, what's really the point? Do you want to spend $350? You want to go with a much lower price point? You can see a link to make it easy for you to buy this product below. But half the price, less than half the price, 8 days functionality, and you're losing a ECG. You can't go ahead and do that with this right now. I think they should do the software. There's a thing called heart rate variability, HRV, heart rate variability, and it's called scatter plot. And that will tell you if you have any cardiac issues that's detecting. It's just kind of nice. That's what you get the watch for. I thought the watches were stupid when they first came out. Why do I want to get a smart watch? I've never had a watch. I haven't used a watch since last century. Why would I get a watch? I don't know. I'm always looking at my watch now. Do I get a text? It's so much easier, just don't care. Or that was an alarm. Or there's lightning. And not even pulling your phone out of your pocket. It's amazing. I can't imagine not having a watch anymore. Didn't want a phone. Turned out my phone is actually a camera. I like my camera. I like my watch. You never know. I really thought texting was absolutely the oh my God. Do I have that thing set up right now? Yeah, I think I'm recording correctly. Anyway, Amazfit GTS4. I think it's fabulous.